A subcommittee under the Accounts Committee has prepared a report stating that corruption of more than 10 billion rupees occurred in the Pokhara Regional International Airport project. The report mentions directing the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIAA, and the Department of Money Laundering Investigation to immediately suspend and conduct further investigation and take action against 8 individuals, including the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal, Pradeep Adhikari. The report also recommends taking action against those involved in policy and procedural corruption in the airport construction. However, the names of those who made policy decisions are not mentioned. Not all members of the committee have signed the report due to disagreements among themselves regarding whether to include the names of the then ministers who made policy decisions. This is why the subcommittee has not been able to finalize the report. The publicly released report mentions corruption and recommends action only against the employees of the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal. However, another report which specifically names those involved in policy decisions has been kept confidential by the subcommittee itself. After the question arose about who was involved in the policy decisions regarding the irregularities during the airport construction, we inquired with the members of the subcommittee, which was coordinated by the chairperson of the Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, Rajendra Lingden. Some parliamentarians, on condition of anonymity, claimed that the finance and tourism ministers involved from the very beginning of the construction appeared to be implicated. The Pokhara airport construction work began after the Ministry of Finance approved it on 27th of November 2011. According to the report, the then Finance Minister, Barshaman Pun, approved it. A tender process was advertised for the construction of the airport at a cost of 14 billion rupees. 3 construction companies submitted bids, with the lowest bid being 22 billion rupees. According to the Public Procurement Act, if the tender amount exceeds the specified amount, the tender should be cancelled and re-invited. However, instead of doing so, a debate arose on whether the contract could be awarded to the company willing to work at the lowest bid in the old process. The proposal to award the contract to the lowest bidder reached the election cabinet. In 2069 BS, the election cabinet, led by the then Chief Justice Khilraj Regmi, rejected the proposal. Following this, the authority formed a 3-member committee headed by the then Registrar of the Supreme Court, Ram Krishna Timalsena. After the committee suggested that the contract could be awarded according to the old tender, corruption and irregularities began. Ram Kumar Shrestha appears to have been the Minister of Tourism at that time. The authority made this decision while he was the Minister of Tourism, even though it was illegal to do so without cancelling the old tender. The report does not specify the minister's involvement in this. However, it was from this point that the contract for the airport, estimated to cost 14 billion rupees, reached about 22 billion rupees. After that, Pradeep Adhikari, who was the airport project chief from Nepalese year of 2071 to 2074, is now the Director General of the authority. During his tenure as the project chief, Adhikari repeatedly corresponded with the Ministry of Finance through the Ministry of Tourism for payments through the authority. Some members of the subcommittee claimed the involvement of the finance and tourism ministers who were in office from the date the airport construction began until its completion. During this period, Acharya, Anand Pokhrel, Jitendra Narayan Dev, Rabindra Adhikari and Yogesh Patrai served as tourism ministers. Likewise, Ram Sharan Mahat, Vishnu Paudel, Krishna Bahadur Mahara, Yuvraj Khatiwada, Janardhan Sharma and Gyanendra Bahadur Karki served as finance ministers. The subcommittee's report does not specify whose tenure saw which decisions and what the involvement was. However, loan agreements and tax exemptions are mentioned. Parliamentarians say that since the ministry did not provide the necessary documents when requested by the subcommittee, they could not specify names, and therefore further investigation has been recommended by the CIAA and the Department of Money Laundering Investigation. Furthermore, the report has not yet been finalized. Differences of opinion have emerged within the subcommittee itself. This is why 2 different reports seem to have been prepared. However, due to political motives and biases, a report that does not mention the names of political leaders has been made public even before the report was finalized. Now, with the issue in controversy, the responsibility of investigation whether or not corruption occurred in the construction of the Pokhara airport lies with state bodies, including the CIAA. Along with this, the question of why the report prepared by the subcommittee was made public before being presented to the Accounts Committee also needs to be answered.